speak briefly about fears about artificial intelligence. We tend to overemphasize the part of our brain, our mind, our intellect, the part about which we're consciously aware. We tend to consider that to be me, I. But that's very far from certain. Most of what our brain does is inaccessible to our conscious mind. And I don't just mean regulating the autonomic nervous system, making your heart beat, all that kind of stuff. There are a lot of intellectual and emotional processes going on in the background that our conscious mind isn't even aware of. Now, you might ask, what does that have to do with fears about AI? And here's why it's relevant. Ask yourself whether a programmer can write an algorithm about what it means to be a human when he doesn't even know what's going on in his own brain. I'm not trying to make fun of programmers. There are deep, dark, mysterious things going on in his mind and in my mind and your mind and all of our minds that we don't know anything about. Or at best, we only have a glimmer of understanding about them. Here's an example from my own life. Years ago, after reading a book on hidden assumptions and motivations that are helpful to know in marketing, I started watching my own behavior to see if there were strange things that I did that I wasn't even aware of. And I noticed that if I got on an elevator and someone else was on the elevator with me, if that other rider got off before me, I would walk over and take that person's place. I'd probably been doing it for years and had just noticed it because I was paying attention. And why did I do that? That's so weird. Was I marking the space? It sounds like something a dog would do. It doesn't sound rational or human, but I'm a human and I was doing it. The point is that our brains are far more complicated than we think. So while we have every reason to be cautious about AI, let's also admit the reality that there are things about being human that a computer is not going to be able to mimic because no programmer on Earth understands those things. There was a recent Bosak's email titled Jane Friedman Speaks Out, Understanding AI from a Publisher's Perspective. And it offers some sane analysis about fears about AI. So I'd recommend you check that out. Bosak's also offers his own thoughts at the beginning of that article. And they're very interesting because he made them many, many years ago. And, I'll be honest, I am worried about AI. Frank Herbert's Dune is one of my favorite books, and it's lurking there in the back of my mind, making me wonder if we should have a jihad against thinking machines. There are other stories in our culture, like The Sorcerer's Apprentice or The Genie in the Bottle. We're full of cautionary tales about unleashing a power we can't control, like nuclear energy. Now, my advice is go ahead and use AI as the productivity enhancing tool it clearly is. But don't be surprised if people start storming data centers and demanding regulation. The fear that we might create a monster that we can't control shouldn't be lightly brushed aside. However, at the same time, predictions are hard, especially about the future, as Yogi Berra allegedly said. So let's not give up. Let's not assume that we really know what's going to happen. It's very possible, it's probably even likely, that there's more to being human than a computer can imitate. And that it's going to take quite a long time before AI actually catches up with us. So that's my thought for today. Thanks.